our own little show. I mean, it kind of is. I took pictures today of myself, and I need a dye job around that.
Yeah.
I'm looking a little skunky right now, I realize.
No.
Even in my last...
You look fabulous.
Well, that's why I have you around. All right, so you want to get into this?
Let's do it.
Okay? You're going to help navigate this. I'm not going to be the only one. All right. We will start with the intro. Welcome to Unscripted Turbulence with Raegan Medgie. I'm your host. Today, my guest, a very dear close friend. I would say that we went to TV hell and back together.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we did. It's the one and only Janice Yu.
Oh, thank you.
Formerly of
WABC
Oh.
and many other places.
Yes. WABC was the last stop.
Yeah.
Much
yeah.
like mine too. Wah. And so begins the Trail of Tears.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we could do a whole series on that, but no one wants to hear that.
No, they don't. But we're gonna talk about all the things. Janice and I, as I tell everybody in the beginning of the podcast, like how we know each other.
Yeah.
So Janice and I, our story actually started when I was at Fox 5, and we were covering the first day of school, and I remember seeing you in the little live truck. I think you're with Calvin.
Probably. Yeah.
And I remember, I don't know if you guys got there later or something. I think you got there maybe a little later. Not a big deal, but I was always the reporter that would go out, or at least I would try, because I know what it's like to come to a scene late and like introduce myself and say, hey, this is what's going on. We already talked to this person, just so you know. Because while we are all in competition, we also...
We all get along. Unless it's an exclusive. That's kind of,
that's
the other thing. But especially on the morning show, too. I think it's such a strong bond.
Oh, yeah.
It's trauma bonding every morning.
It is. And I do miss that, that camaraderie, that bonding, and at times trauma bonding as well. So Janice was there she was at ABC, and I at Fox 5 walked over, and I remember introducing myself, and I remember you saying Janice, and I thought to myself, ooh, like Janice Dean from Fox News.
Yeah.
Because I'm also friends with her too. So, I thought, oh, okay, that's going to be an easy recognizable name. So it was that was it, and then about a year and a half later, we worked together,
and we were in that probably the same live truck that you popped your head up and said hi to me at. We were probably in that same live truck
because you trained me.
Yeah, trained. I mean, come on, it's silly at that point, but it's like it's mostly like, hey, here's our workflow kind of a thing.
Yes.
Right?
So when you get onboarded, which means when you get hired at a new news station, you basically shadow somebody. I've had people shadow me, even people who've been in the business for years. It's just to get the flow and the procedural, whatever, like you said. But we were paired together then. It was so cool. And we went and covered, it was flooding out in Jersey.
That was a long day. You got to see.
Oh, I saw many layers that day.
That was, I think I told you, like, it's not always like this.
Yeah.
But there are days, and you know that obviously. But I think we were out there well past noon. I think we were in Paterson, New Jersey.
Yeah, you're right.
I remember it was like really bad flooding,
and it was so cold.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it was so cold. I couldn't feel my fingers at one point. But you rocked it. I just remember watching you, just navigating everything, and thinking, man, I hope I can be like her.
Oh, come on.
It's true.
Oh, come on.
I'm not going to sit here and lie. I'm not going to try to tell stories. Although I'm a storyteller. So that is how Janice and we met. And then while we were at ABC, it's this one right here who suggested I run the New York City Marathon.
Hey, I'm so glad you were in, because I don't think there was anybody in that newsroom that I could convince to run.
So you tried other people and they were just like, nope.
I because you just mention it to people, and people who are interested would probably chime in and be like, oh, are you running? None of that. So I'm like, okay. But then it lined up so perfectly.
It did. It was cool because that's really where we got close.
Yeah.
Because, when you train for the marathon, it is all about the miles and the days and what you're eating, injuries. And
Injuries.
You went through a lot of...
Yeah. I mean, it was Looking back, I'm like, I don't know how I did it. All I know is at the end, I said, I'm not deferring because I don't want to do that again.
Oh gosh, that's a whole year. It's like almost it's a
That's
half a year
summer
commitment.
You know?
This summer was really bad too. Did you notice? So last summer, I don't think, and I should know as a meteorologist, it was not as hot and humid.
I really
because I would
don't
remember
think
as
so.
like training.
No, I really don't think so. So I would see people, I mean, I still see them like right outside my window because I live, right along the Hudson. And those poor souls just, and I just want to be like, you can do it. You're almost there.
Yeah,
Like you're so close.
Yeah, and it's like that's a phrase you don't want to hear. You're almost there.
I know.
People would say that in
when I
Brooklyn,
remember
and you still have to go through Queens.
When I went into Central Park and people were like, you're almost there. And I wanted to be like, please don't say that. If I had the energy, I would have said something, smart back to them. But at that point, I'm fighting for my life. And I have no excess energy.
Yeah, no, that was something we could talk. That's a whole nother, conversation. We'll probably dip our toes back into that. So that's Janice. So when you are in the news, you are in the trenches.
Oh, yes.
And I always compare it to kind of like how cops are. Like there's a cop in the driver's seat and the partner. I always think of Law and Order too.
Yeah.
And that's how us in the news. And we got stories. We've been through it. You see every layer of a person's personality. Yeah. Oh gosh, but like you lean on each other a lot. So
right. And I think going back to the whole being on that morning show, you are up. There's nobody to text even because everyone's sleeping. So you better hope you get along with your coworkers.
Oh, yeah.
Because at 4 a.m., there's nobody else to talk to.
No. Some people don't get along and they don't talk, and it's a very quiet.
That's a very I don't think I could do that.
No, I couldn't.
Because you just want to talk.
Yeah.
But some of, I think, the most meaningful conversations have been in that live truck. Yeah. Either in between live shots. Or I don't know, it's something about, remember when we were like younger and you used to do like sleepovers or like when you're in college, you're just
that's
hanging
great.
out with your friends. And it's like, for some reason, in the middle of the night is when you have like the deepest conversations, except we're at work with a full face of makeup, sitting in a van.
And fake eyelashes.
Yeah.
Are you wearing your fake eyelashes today?
No.
Okay, cool.
Okay, I'm happy to report, I have not worn a full face of makeup since leaving news.
Yeah, no, I haven't either. No, I have some makeup on today.
Yeah, I have like
stretch it out.
I have like a little, just like my day-to-day stuff, so I don't look like completely, like a ghost or something. Yeah. But the full makeup,
Okay.
And my skin has been so good. I struggle with eczema, and I went through a period
That's right, at
2 summers ago where I couldn't go on air because my eczema was so bad that it, like, without makeup, it looked like I had been punched in the face on both of my eyes because it gets so red, so dry. My skin's cracking. You cannot put makeup on it because it'll just irritate it more. And so my dermatologist was just like, no, you're not going to be able to wear makeup. So I had to go makeup free for like a week.
Was that at ABC?
Mm-hmm.
I remember this.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know if there was another time it happened too, but I remember you were telling me you just couldn't.
It's so bad.
But did you go on air? You did?
I was not on camera. So I like turned packages and I did not do stand-ups. I did not do live shots.
Yeah, this is when you were in the afternoons. Dayside, right?
This was
not morning. Yeah.
This was not morning.
The morning at that time you were, so Janice, we'll get into that. You started morning, then moved, and that's why I wouldn't remember. Because another thing is you're all on the news together, so you don't really know when each other is covering all the time, or stories get changed, and then everybody's shifts all over, and sometimes you're in this shift one day, and then you're in that shift, so that's why there's like a little bit of confusion of mine. Wait a minute. Okay, so let's start from, also, you're no longer at ABC. What is your title now? Do you have one?
My title now, I'll announce it at some point, but I can say that my husband and I, we are moving to Connecticut.
Okay, because now we're currently in Jersey.
Yes, currently in Jersey, which was great, but, Owen works from home. I don't have to be in the city every day. So there's really no reason for us to pay what we are paying in rent there. my gosh. I mean, we pay for the view. It's very nice.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. But we had made the decision to move to Connecticut kind of regardless. And then, things just kind of, as they do, as you and I have reminded each other many times, things just kind of fall into place.
They do.
Yeah.
And for the right reason at the right time.
Yeah. And that's not something we can control. It just happens.
Yep. All right. So let's start from the way beginning.
Where
are you
back.
from?
So, born in Seoul. My dad.
Oh.
Yeah, we're going way back. We're going way back.
Because I think, you might have told me that.
Yeah.
You did, and I probably forgot because I know the next stop. Okay, but go ahead. So,
Yeah,
born in Seoul.
so we moved around a little bit when I was younger because my dad was with the university, and
Moved
then,
around a little bit in Korea or
So, one more time? What was
moved in Korea?
No, once we moved here
And
to the
how
U.S.
old were you?
I was 3. So I moved to Texas when I was 3 with my parents. I know, I've lived in Texas quite a bit because, as I'll say later, I was in 2 different cities in Texas. So we went to Texas, then we were in South Carolina for a bit, then we moved up to Arizona because that's where my dad ended up as a professor, and that was it. I went to middle school, high school, college out there, University of Arizona.
Okay.
Graduated. First job in Amarillo, Texas. Imagine my shock when I get there and you can see for miles and miles. I'm used to mountains. Tucson has mountains all around.
I'm not too familiar with.
There's just mountains everywhere. And I get to Amarillo. Boy, I mean, you can see for miles and there's a lot of cows.
Get out of here.
A lot of cows.
Really? And this was your first TV job?
This was my first TV job.
Just as a reporter? Did you get
Yeah,
anchor?
MMJ. Just an MMJ.
And an MMJ, for people who don't know, is
It's multimedia journalist. You write, shoot, edit, do everything on your own. So I was there just about 4 or 5 months. Those of us in the business know very well, oftentimes companies get bought out by other companies. So this station was in the middle of a buyout. So they couldn't offer me a contract, but they gave me like an offer letter and said, hey, come work for us. So I took it and ran with it. And I was like, I was not having a good time there, you know? And think about how disappointing that is when it's all throughout college. I mean, since freshman year of high school, this is all I've wanted to do, right? Be in journalism. And then you get to your first market after all of that. And you're like, this ain't it.
Yep.
This just, nothing about this is working for me.
Yep.
So I told myself, if I don't find a different job by my birthday in March, I'm going to go back home and we're going to reassess everything. But as life happens, I started my new job on my birthday in El Paso, Texas.
Oh, get out of here.
Yep.
Wow, it was not time for you to leave.
No. And so I was there reporting and anchoring. Then I went home, went to Tucson, anchored and reported out there. Something beautiful about being in your home market.
I was going to say, I did that once when I first started. It was really cool. You're rooted there. So you knew the issues. You knew what
and
really
just, like,
mattered.
The feel of the city that you're in, right? And it's like this big homecoming. Like, people are still there. My mom and my sister were still there, friends from high school were still there.
And they probably love the fact that you're on TV, right?
I know,
Wasn't
right?
that
It's like
cool?
a novel concept, right?
I had a couple of friends too. It was fun when, you would do your like live shots or whatever. Sometimes they would come out.
Yeah.
I
You
know
would see them.
It's so hokey to say, but it was really cool. Whatever.
And honestly, an experience like that, yes, you have people who come up to you at other live shots in different places. But when it's like people you like really know, like that's so special.
Yeah, and they're like, oh, wow. And did you get from any friends like, oh, wow, this is what you do. You really do this. Like, that. Because I got that and I thought, well, yeah, I've been doing this for a long time. Like I was in my hometown is Bethlehem, but Allentown is where I really got my start. And then, I went upstate New York. And then when I got back around my area in Scranton, it was dipping down into Bethlehem and people would start watching me. And at that point, it was probably a good 7 years of better development or 5 years better development. So they would see me and they go, oh, wow, And it's such like a neat, like, yeah.
Yeah, look at me.
Yes, I've practiced, I've failed. You didn't see those failures, but now you're seeing the successes.
Right. And it was so great, but that's where I met my husband, But
Great guy, by the way. Very great guy.
oh, he'll be happy.
Big
to hear
fan.
that.
Big Owen fan. Big Owen fan.
Owen is also a big Raegan fan and a big Pilot fan.
Thank
So-
you. Okay, I was going to say Pilot because you were there when I said I accidentally slipped on Pilot's real name in one of my podcasts, and I slice that out. But yeah. Well, that's wonderful.
Yeah, and but I knew that wasn't it. I didn't want to get too comfortable, right?
Yeah.
Because if that's what you want, that's totally fine. We all have different goals and aspirations in life, and you find that market that really feels like home to you, then you stay there. But that wasn't it for me. So I kept looking, and then I went to Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
Worked for the Fox station out there.
Mm-hmm.
Was there at a very interesting time because it was just, we got there right before COVID. And then COVID happened. And that was a wild, obviously, for everyone. But so I was there. Then, if I'm being completely honest, after Atlanta, I had made the decision that they offered me an extension. I signed that 6-month extension. And then I said, okay, that's it. I'm going to figure out what's next. So I walked away and spent about 3 months just trying to figure out what was next. At that point, I wasn't sure if I wanted to stay in news. I walked dogs for a little bit. I did pet sitting, which, by the way, was amazing because anyone who knows me knows I love animals.
And you have a couple sons, furry sons.
Furry sons. They got a lot of hair. And so things happened. I thought what's weird is I've never been the type of person who's like, I have to work in New York City, right? Mm-hmm. Some people have their dream city,
a
right?
lot of people do, yeah.
For me, it was always, let me just find a place that I can see myself long term. And then New York came calling. And the next thing you know, I took the job at ABC and I was on top of the world, right? Mm-hmm. Who wouldn't be?
Yeah.
I had a blast. And it's kind of one of those where you walk into that newsroom and you're just like, oh my gosh, like these are really impressive people.
Right.
And I'm like,
legacy.
Yeah. And I'm like reporting next to them. I'm anchoring next to them.
Yeah.
And kind of, I was, to be honest, battling imposter syndrome because you're just like, do I deserve to be here?
Oh,
And-
from somebody on the outside looking in, I'm stunned to hear that. I
Oh.
wouldn't.
Well, thank you. Yeah. So it was a great time. Wouldn't take it back for anything. But summer was a little tumultuous.
Mm-hmm.
Things, as you say,
Mm-hmm.
there was a little bit of turbulence.
And we don't have to go into all of I did what I like to call the TV trilogy and really got into what my situation was. We don't have
all
to
the juicy details.
all the juicy details. We don't have to get into yours. You can go where you want on that. But yeah, so there was some turbulence.
There was some turbulence, and it was a shock.
Mm-hmm.
Without going into too much detail, I mean, it was a shock. But what was interesting was the immense relief I felt almost immediately. I called you. I got off the phone with my agent, and then I called Owen. I think I called my dad, and then I called you because I was like, I need to talk to Raegan. And I remember crying on the phone and just being like, oh my gosh. And I remember you were just so calm, which is what I needed.
Thank you.
Just so calm. And then later in that day, because this all happened in the morning. So later in that day, Owen keeps looking at me going, are you okay? How are you doing? Are you okay? And I'm like, you know what? I'm okay. Because at that point, I think I had already moved on from news. I was at a job, in theory, that I loved, right? This isn't about one particular station, or anything like that, or anybody in particular. It's the way that I viewed news, right? You and I, everybody gets into news thinking, oh, we are just going to change the world.
Yep.
We're going to do all the things. We're going to ask those tough questions, and we're going to do stories that matter. And in a way, I look at that and I'm like, I don't want to say it's selfish to think that way, because I still believe that, but it was like I needed some kind of validation, right? Like I wanted to walk away feeling fulfilled at the end of the day while doing something good for the community. And that wasn't happening. I mean, honestly, that hadn't happened in a long time. Every now and then, you would get a story where you're just like, yes, like that is it. That is what I got into this for.
Yeah, especially when people come up to you and they say, thank you so much for, covering XYZ, or you get the emails or even like the DMs and Instagram and Facebook messages.
Right.
When you get those from the story you've done or the people that were impacted by the story you did, that nothing compares to that.
Yeah. And just knowing that you made a real difference in someone's life. I'm not talking about, I need laws changed or, things like that. I'm just saying, if I can help one person, whatever that is, like that would make me feel so good and like I was making a difference. But the industry being what it is, the industry being news, local news, I mean, it's not even the industry's fault. It's just the way things are right now. And you know this, shows are being constantly added. You are doing more work. Therefore, you need to fill more time. So these stories aren't getting the attention that they deserve. And I think that's just, it's a shame. Like, it's not one person's fault. I don't know how we go about changing the system, but for me, I had to step away because I couldn't do it anymore. And I don't want to continue living a life where I'm so unhappy. And I think that's what it came down to.
And what was making you unhappy? Because I know, you mentioned you wanted to kind of discuss this part, the mental health aspect of it, because it, being on TV is one thing and reporting the news, and then being, you really are witnessing a lot of trauma. We joke and haha, trauma bonding and stuff, but really you do witness a lot of trauma out there. Sometimes you're, the second person arriving on a really horrific scene. Very rarely are you the first person, but that does happen.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of that goes on. And then, then the strain of being away from your loved ones and having to commit time and all it's very layered, because news is 24/7 and you really are expected to be available, which understandably so, because we know this is what we signed up for.
Yeah.
But that also comes at a cost.
Right. And you learned that early on, right? We all do. It is, you are working holidays.
Oh, I remember the first holiday I worked, it was Christmas. I remember I was at home visiting Pilot and my family in Bethlehem. And it was Christmas Day. Oh. And I got back, it was evening, and got back in the car. And at this point, I was 28. So I'm thinking like, oh, this is cool. Like, because my dad was a cop. So I'm thinking, I know what it's like to work holidays too. And I went to McDonald's and I grabbed 2 cheeseburgers with no meat, because I don't eat red meat or poultry, and a large fry. And I drove back up from Bethlehem to Elmira, New York. And I was actually very jazzed about this and excited, because I'm like, ooh, who else would do this? I'm like, beginning my TV career. This is what it feels like. I feel like I'm in the movies. Like, yeah. Well, that was not how I felt the next year.
Exactly.
I mean? Like at first it's like, whoa.
Exactly.
And then it keeps happening.
The novelty of it, this is the way I see it. None of us get into this, I shouldn't say none. A lot of us get into this business, and it's not because we want to be on TV, right? It's not because I want, to feel special or anything. However, being on TV is a part of the job, right? So you feel kind of special, but then that novelty wears off really fast, in my opinion. And the holidays, I made it work. I remember one time I think I did a story on Christmas Day, and then I went straight from the station to the airport to fly home to Arizona. And I was so scared that I was going to miss my flight. And, things like that probably in the moment, I think I was probably like, hey, like I'm a working woman. Like I'm like in the movies, you know, where they're just like, she's coming home for the holidays.
Yes.
Except it's not that cute and
No.
it's not a Hallmark movie.
No, no. Because movies last for like 2 hours. And this is like.
And then they live happily ever after.
I know. And you're like, not my case.
Yeah, no. So I'm not really sure when it started, right, with the whole, I mean, I've been very open about it, but with depression and anxiety, I really hit my low point when my tail end of my time in Tucson.
And what year was that? Do you remember?
20. It was like right before
Like
2017,
Yeah,
maybe
okay.
2017, right around that time. So I was experiencing these really weird symptoms. And like at that point in my life, I was doing like Orange Theory several times a week. I was doing Pure Bar. I was running after Pure Bar. Like I was a very active, fit person, right? And all of a sudden, I remember one day I took my dog for a quick walk around the neighborhood and I came back and I was so exhausted. Like you would have, I don't even know, I can't even remember working out that hard where I would feel that exhausted.
Yeah.
I had to take a nap. And that just kept persisting. And I would, I'd be like, well, that's weird. Maybe I didn't sleep well or something like that. And then soon they turned into these just random like heart palpitations. Like my heart just felt like it was just beating out of control. And so I'm like, okay, that's a little scary. And they weren't happening at, it's not, I mean, looking back, now that I know what I was experiencing were panic attacks, but they weren't happening during a live shot, right? Or as I'm anchoring. It would just happen randomly.
Like at a time when you're relaxed?
Yeah, when I'm relaxed. Like one time I remember I was shopping and my heart palpitations were so strong that I dropped the clothes that were in my hands because it freaked me out. I was like, okay, something is not right. And of course, because I'm feeling those palpitations, I think, oh my, there's something wrong with my heart.
Like I'm having a heart attack
Yeah,
or something.
oh my gosh. So it got so bad that one day I went to the emergency room because, Owen took me to the emergency room because I was like, I don't know what's going on, but this is not normal. So of course they do all these tests and they're like, we can't find anything that's wrong with you. And I'm like, okay, that's cool because I don't feel right. So that started my journey of going from specialists to like several doctors, and no one could really figure out what was going on. They said, your heart looks fine. And also it's unusual for a young woman to have heart problems. I know it happens, but like that's not, it's not something that they were concerned about. And then it wasn't until Atlanta that I went and saw my new primary care physician, and I had been telling her all about these. And she goes, have you ever considered those might be panic attacks? And I was like, I don't know what you're talking about because I'm not panicked, right?
Yeah,
I feel like I'm actually very composed because of the job that we have. She was like, no, these are all signs of a panic attack. And I was like, what? And then I start Googling and you find all of this stuff that what you feel mentally manifests itself physically to the point where your heart is beating so fast that you think you have a heart attack. And the amount of people that I have talked to since, going through all of that who have wound up in the ER for the exact same thing is mind-blowing.
Really?
Because we just don't think like that, right?
Sometimes I feel like I get a little, the funny thing is, now that you're talking about that, and I know you're not a doctor, Dr. Yu.
That's not me.
Dr. Yu, not you. Not you, haha. Because her last name's Yu, Y-U, and I tend to always put the Y-U instead of Y-O-U.
Yeah, she does that a lot in a lot of the texts, and I appreciate that.
It's just funny.
It is fun.
It's a really good last name.
It is.
You really can do a lot with that.
Yeah.
Like if you ran for office, nobody's better than you.
No.
Or again, who's a journalist? Yeah.
Okay, I'm taking that.
Okay. Anyway, so back to heart palpitations. When I was at ABC and at Fox at times, at night, oh my God, at night I'd be going to sleep and it would be like, and I would try to breathe through it. Oh, wow. Now, I don't know that she's not diagnosed.
Right. I'm not diagnosed.
But, you start thinking about these things,
Right.
and we have the same kind of job. So, yeah.
And it's one of those things where you don't notice it in the moment, right?
No.
Because I think we are all adrenaline junkies, where we love that breaking news and that rush of excitement, which is all well and good. But I think between that and the things we see that we don't normally talk about, and the stress of like meeting a deadline,
the
sometimes
script writing,
it could be
like writing and then breathing through, like, okay, I can get through this, and trying to get a sound bite, and your cameraman's trying to help you. Oh, yeah, that's.
I mean, there are days where I look back and I'm like, I don't know how we put that on the air. Like, we did it though.
Yep.
And it looks good.
Yep.
But it's like you have to be so hyper focused, and that coupled with like, you don't have much free time, right? You're away from your family. All of these things I think contribute to that. And I wish that was something that we talked about more as an industry, especially with the younger reporters,
Yeah.
because they prepare you for, how to do interviews, right? How to shoot and edit.
The questions to ask.
Right.
The angles to not get, how to light something, how to, pitch a story, how to ask, sources, certain things, all the things you need for a good story. But it's never focused on the reporter themselves or the photographer.
Exactly. Yeah, this is just as true for photographers. And I think that's the nature of the business, right? Because it's not about you. It's not about you.
No, it's not.
So, and I think also, and I don't know if you feel this way, but when I was first starting out, I did not want to say no to things because I did not want to be that new girl who doesn't want to go do something. I mean, there are things that I did looking back when I was one-man banding, shooting, editing all by myself, where I went and did things that were probably pretty dangerous, like I don't think I should have been alone in those situations. But I'm so eager to prove myself that there was no question in my mind, well, I'm going to go do that. I'm not going to be the one to be like, I don't feel comfortable. Because think about, I mean, I just wasn't that kind of person.
Yeah.
Right? I wasn't going to raise my hand in the morning meeting and be like, I don't feel comfortable doing that. It wasn't until much later in my career where I felt like I could speak up and say those things.
That takes a lot of time to get to that point, because that's not. And sometimes I'm wondering, like, I wonder if our bosses are going to be listening to this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And this would be my I guess this would be my statement to my bosses. I was a yes girl in the beginning.
Yeah.
And then I grew up.
Right.
And I realized the power of no.
And I don't know that I've made this very clear to you, but seeing you going through that was so helpful for me because, look, I think the timing wasn't coincidental either. Like the fact that I just saw you go through it.
Oh,
and I mean, look at this. How surreal is this? Like a year ago, imagine if more than a year ago, if we had said, look, neither of you are going to be in news anymore. You're going to be sitting in a podcast studio.
Yeah, right?
Recording an episode
together.
I mean, it's crazy. But seeing you make that leap, and I'm sure other people too, has been incredible. And that is, honestly, I think the more we see people like that, the more that people are going to feel like they can do this. I think I'm serious. That was such a comfort to me. It's almost like, okay, well, she did it, so I know I can do it.
Oh, wow.
Like, I know I can do it.
Well, thank you. Thank you. And I mean, listen, like I wasn't trying to be like, everybody, like, let's have a revolution. Quit with me.
No, but it's one of those things where you see it. I mean, many of us are experiencing it because, like you, after I said I was leaving the business, holy cow, the DMs that came in.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes me very sad because there are so many people who are just feeling stuck. And they just don't know how to go about getting out or changing. You know, it doesn't even have to be people in news, because I've received DMs from people who are not in news, but are going through this, like, I do not want to do what I am doing anymore.
Yeah.
Like, this is not it for me. I have to go in search of something else. And that's scary.
It's terrifying.
It's so scary. And don't get me wrong, I am not completely, you know, I talk like I'm, okay, I've got it all figured out. No, I wake up and there's days where I miss this, not this, the business.
Yeah.
And, you know, just you and I talk about it all the time, just things here and there that we miss.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, that was such a big, important part of our lives.
We're still in grieving, you know, the
Yeah,
grieving
yeah.
phase. And I have said that before, and it's not like a weepy, woey, oh, pity me, nothing like that. It's more, you know, my first love will always be local news.
Yeah.
You know? And I'll look back on it and with, you know, fond memories, because sometimes you only remember the highlights until you're...
It's funny how that happens, right?
And then you dig in with something, you're like, oh, wait, there was something else to that. Oh, yeah, you know, so I do grieve that, because I got into it for all the right reasons.
Yeah.
You know, and one could argue I left it for all the right reasons too, you know, and it's that weird, I don't know, that weird relationship with it.
Yeah.
But there are sad days. Like, I was trying to think, I think even yesterday I had this weird moment where I was walking through the city, and I started walking past a lot of places we'd go live.
Oh no.
Talk about triggering. And the funny thing is, I'm like, I'm on one hand I'm sad, because I thought, oh yeah, I got to see a lot of New York. You have the viewers come up, you know.
Yeah.
And then you have people come up, say, I don't watch the news, and you're like, yeah, I understand. You know, then you get that part of it. But I would get those like teary moments, and then I would also remember my state of mind during those moments of live shot, and I quickly kept on walking. You know, like so there again, the weird balance, the oil and water kind of balance of it. But yeah, no, it is. There are days where it's sad. And hey, I don't have it figured all out. I'm doing this thing. Okay, I'm doing this podcast. You know, talking about my truths and then bringing people in to talk about theirs. And to talk about getting through the hard parts of decision making and turbulence and stuff, you know, no one has it figured out.
No.
But the great part about what I feel what I'm doing right now is I get to hear from people. It's almost like therapy for me too.
Yeah.
And like, you know, to go back on when you said, you know, I left, and it was like really inspiring to see what I did and everything, and that, you know, maybe I blazed a little trail, if it's only for you. Get it? Anyway, I'm here all day, people. So, you know, I'm hoping that part of this podcast mission is when people feel like us and feel like we're stuck and we don't know where to go. I'm hoping that there's at least one episode in this podcast series that somebody will listen to and go, oh, thank God I'm not alone. And that's how they did it. All right. Yes, it's terrifying to leave, but that one episode, they were talking about how you prepare before you actually leave. You know, like there's little nuggets and pieces of information along the way.
And I think that's kind of the beauty of it, right? The more people talk about it,
Oh, yeah.
the more, and the more you see it, the more that you're going to be looking at something going, hey, that really is doable.
Yeah.
And I hope that, you know, if there are journalists who are listening to this who are feeling just stuck. By no means am I trying to get everyone to leave the business. Definitely not.
No, but you're letting people know that you see them and you hear them and you feel them.
Yeah, because it's tough. It's tough to wake up every day and not want to go to work.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's tough to just feel so, I don't want to say useless, but just in a way, just
Disposable?
Yeah.
At times?
Disposable, directionless. Because you think back and you're like, wow, what was that even? Like, what story was that? Why did I have to do that?
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, I understand that not everyone is completely happy with their job. I totally get that. But I think that the important thing is that with journalists, that is who we are. And so much of us is tied to that work.
Oh, It's
that,
our
like, it's
identity.
hard to just disconnect.
So when you had posted that you left, you know, the DMs you were getting, so people all over saying that.
Specifically when I was saying I left, like, the business, because I think so many people feel like us, and just no one can say it. But also, we as journalists were trained to not talk about ourselves, so it's already kind of awkward, right? But people need to do that. They need a place to go. So I think, and I've heard it from other people too, who have left the business, and when they announce it widely, they get a lot of DMs and questions and things like that. I think it makes me so sad.
I mean, I got from other markets,
people
reaching out. Because it is that thing, well, what do I do next? This is all I know.
And here's the other thing. We think that, okay, well, these are very specific sets of skills. Like, I know how to go live, and I know how to edit a story. I know how to interview. Guess what? Those are all skills that can be broken down into things that are so useful in other industries. And that is where I was so upset with myself for thinking that there was no place for me outside of the business, because this is all I knew. But, like, I mean, look at you. Storytelling. That is something that is needed, period. Full stop. It doesn't have to come in one form.
It's hard to take the blinders off, though.
Yeah.
You know? To think, well, yeah, but where else? Because I don't know.
Right. And it's scary. I mean, it was scary. I've had a few months now to kind of process and, you know, explore. And I've had my poor husband.
We were talking the
If
other
you're
day.
listening, I am so sorry.
We were talking the other day that there should be a spouse support group.
Hey, you know what I did see, though? I saw that someone, because I don't know if everyone knows, but TV newswomen are in a Facebook group, and it's been around for many, many years. Are you a part of that group on Facebook? The TV newswomen's?
I think I might be.
Okay, because
I should probably dip my toe back and be like, hey, ladies.
Yeah. Well, so it's been around for a long time, and people just talk about everything, like from makeup to, like, you know, how do you handle this situation, that situation. Anyway, there was a girl who posted in there saying that she is starting a Husbands of News support group.
Are you kidding me?
I saw that in a screenshot, because Owen and I have joked since we first started dating that there needs to be a support group for people, partners of people in news. And someone came up with the genius idea.
Are you serious?
To start that.
And this, you just saw this the other day?
I think I saw it yesterday or the day before.
Because you posted, what did you send me the other day?
What
there was
did I
another
send
thing
you?
that you sent me.
What did I send you?
It was a news thing. It was a group.
Oh, was it at the chat group?
The chat group, that's it.
A
Okay,
chat
so this
group.
is a different.
This is different. The chat group is for people who have left news.
Oh,
and this one who is,
juicy.
I know,
Yeah,
I know.
yeah.
But how great is it that you have some place to go where you can just, like, vent if you need to?
Because you got to make sure that nobody's going to be like, open the can.
I know. But I think that's the beautiful thing about that TV Newswomen's Facebook page, is that, like, I think there have been a few incidents, but I think overall, like, it's understood that it is private.
Oh.
Because, you know, we always say, what we talk about in a news van stays in a news van.
Oh, yeah. If that news van had ears, there were many times where I was in there, and I'm not going to give up the goose now at all. But so Steve, you know, Janice worked with Steve too.
Steve is great. If you're listening, we love you, Steve.
We love you, Steve. He's supposed to be on this podcast.
Oh, good.
Now, you know how he is. He's like, he's got like family stuff. And so he's, you know, we're trying to figure out.
You might have to do a lot of bleeps.
Oh, for God's sake. That's right. I didn't think about that. Okay. That's going to be a heavy edit. You know what? He can edit.
Oh,
I'm going to have him
make him edit his own
I'm not doing
podcast. There you
Yeah.
go.
He's very loosey-lippy. He's very loosey-lippy.
And we love him for it.
He's like an Italian from Queens, family in Brooklyn.
I feel like if I had to pick someone who, as someone who is not from New York, that I can be around, who makes me feel like I am around someone who is from here, it would be him.
He like represents New York.
He just like, it's almost like cartoonish. You're just like,
he's a
that's him.
caricature.
Yeah.
He's like a New York. He's a caricature
Yeah.
of New York. It's like, so we would be in the van and we would laugh a lot because he would say inappropriate things, and it's just funny because that's just how it is. Okay, it's not anything borderline awful, but it's just like the jokes, you know. But we would laugh, and that's what made it so fun in the morning.
Oh my gosh.
Things we were laughing about, and then I would post us just laughing, and of course, like people are like, "What are you laughing at?" Oh, I can't tell you.
Well, yeah.
No.
Things
But
that
the
happen
alert.
inside a news van. You can't say it. But yeah, like how fun were those times? Like this is how I hope, I know I joke and, you know, but I really hope that I look back and it's something where I just remember all of the good times.
You will. I think, you know, it's everything's still kind of fresh. I mean, for both of
Right.
us, it ended over the spring to summer, you know?
It was, it was quick. It was quick.
A month. I was April 1st.
Yeah, and I was June, like towards the end of June. So we had a
Oof.
couple months in between. And what's
I
funny is
wouldn't
the DMs that you and I would be getting going, first Raegan, now what's going on? Now you?
Uh-huh.
You know, but honestly,
We don't have any control of that. That's a, you know,
No,
we
no.
don't have any control of
And-
why certain decisions are made on the upper level.
that's way beyond my pay grade. I do not wish to ever be in a situation like that. At the end of the day, local news is a business.
Yeah.
It needs to stay afloat. And that's totally fine. You know, I look back and I say that is honestly the best thing that has happened to me, because I would not have had the courage, I think, to jump on my own. And I think I told you this, but the day before that whole like phone call thing happened.
Phone call for you?
For me.
For you.
For me.
Okay.
I was coming back. It was the story of the young woman who was lifeguarding at the beach and she was impaled by the umbrella. Do you remember
yeah,
that?
Yeah. Wind kind of.
The wind came. She
survived.
Fell. Yeah. It just like, it got her in a spot where she was like totally okay.
Like her shoulder or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And oh my gosh, the pictures were
Really?
insane. Amazing young woman. Anyway, it was that day. So that ended up being my last live shot. I didn't know it at the time, but that ended up being my last live shot at the beach. And on the way home, a photographer who we really grew close during the morning show, but now he works dayside. He's off that shift, and I was off that shift. It happened, I think, the same week. He started in Jersey working normal hours, and then I started my normal-ish hours, right? So anyway, Mike and I, very close. And we had this long drive back to the bureau in Jersey. And I was telling him, it's like, Mike, I am so tired. Like, he knows so much about me too. And I remember saying, like, I am just so tired. I don't know what to do, but I know that I'm not happy. And he and I have had many talks like this before. But then he said to me, he's like, Janice, I think you and I are the type of people who won't do something. We won't make the leap until we are absolutely forced to. And then all of this happened. And I mean, I'm not the woo-woo type, right? Like, oh, the universe, you know. But my journey through news has taught me that you just have to listen. Like, and it comes sometimes in like unconventional ways, right? Like, yes, would I have wanted things to be a little bit smoother? But look how it's all worked out in a matter of a few months. And that is just the universe telling me that is, hey, here's your push. You want it? It wasn't even a push. It was a kick. Just.
Isn't that crazy? That was the conversation you had the day before.
Yeah.
The phone call.
Yeah.
And then the day before my phone call, prayed to God the night before saying, God, please give me an answer. I don't think I can do this anymore. You know? be careful what you wish for.
I know.
You just, and you know what? You have to be open. And you know, my first guest, Dana, Angel in the Elevator.
God wink Dana.
God wink Dana. You know, those are signs. No matter which way you believe, if you believe in the religious aspect of it or the woo-woo aspect, you really, it's almost just you really do. You're right. You have to pay attention because the answer's there, but are you paying attention to the answer?
And I think it's being open to the fact that, yes, there is a sign. It may have been staring you in the face this whole time, but you've chose to ignore it because it's scary, right? That's, at the end of the day, I was scared. I was so scared. And I didn't know what I've been planning my entire life, right? It's like, oh, your contract, because it's like contract after contract. So,
and the contracts are usually like 3 years or
exactly.
2, they could be 5 if you're an anchor.
My life was kind of planned in contracts.
Oh,
and you know, because you're like, I'm going to be here for 3 years at least.
Yeah.
Okay. And then we'll see what happens in another 3 years. You know,
and then your partner is wondering, are we going to move? Are we getting a house? Are we going to have kids? Are we
I'm
not
like,
going to have kids?
I don't know.
All
Maybe
of
at the end of the contract, we'll see, you know?
Yeah.
So that's how I've lived my life. And all of a sudden, you don't have like this roadmap. And ever since I've known Owen, he has said to me, the hardest decision is the scariest one. And that is the right decision. So
the hardest decision is usually the scariest one. And it's always the right one.
Yeah. And, you know, that has been the case, you know, where it's like the same idea, no risk, no reward, right? You just have to go for it. And I mean that within reason, right? Yeah. Like, I don't want people to be like, oh, well, I'm just going to wake up tomorrow and I'm going to, you know, quit my job and
don't do that.
No, like no. Just within reason. I think we're all adults here. Like,
yeah.
And I don't know. If you asked me in June what my life would look like, what are we now in almost to November.
October, November, yeah.
Yeah.
I had to think too. I'm like,
yeah, I know. I was like, are we in November already? No, we're definitely not.
Almost.
That like, this is what it was going to look like, that I'm planning a move to Connecticut and buying furniture. And I am so excited that we are going to have a backyard because we are renting a house. And it's the first time my fur children are going to have a backyard of their own. Like,
what are they going to do? I don't know if they're going to know what to do.
The little one's going to be so scared. He probably just won't.
We'll be in a little corner of the grass.
He'll just
like,
be like,
I don't know if I can.
Oh my gosh, what is all of this? But it's like little things like that, right? That, yes, I'm sad to leave New York because I came here and I remember when I moved up here, so basically I moved up to the Upper West Side, took the job because we were obviously in Atlanta, took the job, moved up to this tiny apartment on the Upper West Side. And I was so excited because I was like, oh my gosh, I'm in New York City and this is so awesome. And I would spend my days off just like walking around. Next thing you know, it's like dinner time. And I'm like, oh, I have walked like 20,000 steps today, you know, from place to place. It was so much fun. And then I went back to Arizona, got married. Then we came back. And then we moved to Jersey. My husband moved from Atlanta. It was like all of this stuff. So New York City, that area, I should say, like it has meant so much to me, right? Because it was like, I don't know, it was just like such a surreal experience. And like, okay, as someone who, I mean, I had been to New York before, but it's different. I'm like, ooh, I'm like on
You're
an
like
episode
part
of yeah,
You're
I'm
part
like,
of it now.
I'm like an episode of Sex and the City, you know,
right?
Like I'm here and I like, you know, it's just such an amazing feeling. So I'm going to miss it. I'm going to miss it. But then I think, well, think about all the things that I'm gaining, you know, just guaranteed holidays off. I don't have to worry about that. I you know, I don't have to get all stressed because I'm not going to know whether I'm working Christmas or not until like 2 weeks out or something like that. My dogs will have a backyard. We can have people over. Like we have space. You guys are coming over.
Oh, obviously.
Like it's just things like that where I'm like, I made the right choice because again, it all depends on what part of life you're in.
Yes, that's a good thing to bring up because not everybody's
That's not the goal for everybody.
Yeah, no. And everybody has different trajectories and different parts of their life and phases and timing. Just because it's working for you doesn't mean it's going to work for somebody else who might be listening, being like, I went out too, and maybe that's my answer.
Yeah, you don't want the backyard and the house, and you still want to be in like a big city. That's totally fine. And I mean, I loved my time here, but it's time. Like, and when you know, you know. And I mean, obviously, I'll miss. Not that I get to see you very often because
I know. And even when we were working together, it wasn't often. It was like passing ships.
Yep.
Like I'd be leaving with like my mascara running down my face, and this one's all fresh face.
Yeah, I'm like, hey, how's it going?
And I'm like, don't even. Good luck on the story that I'm passing off to you. Although I would give you my script.
Oh, and you would pass it off so nicely. Just nice, packaged with the bow.
Yeah, just voice it.
Yep.
Not often you probably did that, but then I'd have to do an as live, and then we're not going to get into.
We're not going to get it. Ooh,
that's too industry. That's too industry.
We've lost people already.
People are like, what, an as live? You're not live all the time?
Surprise.
So I want to kind of go back a little bit about, when you were in Atlanta and the doctor said about the heart palpitations, and that's when you first were told of anxiety attacks. After you got that, what was, life and news for you after that? And were you ever met with more attacks or more situations? And how did you get through it? And
I remember I think this was right before I went to the doctor who told me about all of this. Owen hadn't moved up yet. I was there by myself.
So the doctor didn't tell you?
It was a little, like a couple of months in when I got to Atlanta.
Oh, Atlanta.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. So this was when I was like very new and I hadn't gone to the doctor yet. That was the last thing on my mind because I was just trying to get adjusted. And I have this thing, I've never said this publicly.
Oh, here we
go. But I have this thing where for as long as I can remember, when I feel myself like on the verge of whether it's anger or like I'm going to cry, I go into my closet. I don't know if it's because it's just I feel very like cozy in there. Like if you have a small walk-in closet.
Big hug.
Yeah.
Almost.
And there's just like stuff. Like I have a lot of stuff and I don't know.
You don't say. A lot of TV dresses.
Yeah, I know that are now neatly folded and I'm going to put them away somewhere. I don't know what I'm going to do with it.
Yeah, I know. I just got a bunch of TV dresses.
It felt like a breakup where I was like,
yeah, I can't get rid of them yet. I don't know what to do.
Yeah. I don't know. But anyway, so I remember sitting on the floor of my closet in Atlanta, and I was on the phone with Owen, and I was losing it.
What triggered it? Do you remember?
I don't know. And I think it was just like the overwhelming, just like everything was so new. I was there by myself. Like Atlanta is big,
Oh,
and
you were there by yourself first.
It's like I'm used to doing that. But for some reason, it was just like really my transition into it was really difficult in Atlanta. And again, not anyone's fault or anything. I think that was just like my headspace it wasn't good.
Well, it's a new place. And also Owen is not with you.
Yeah.
It's kind of separation too.
Right.
Again, from not only somebody you love, but your family and friends.
It's so far. I mean, we were across the country.
Yeah, you went from one to the other.
I went from home where everybody is around me to like by myself in Atlanta. And I think I was just so stressed. And a part of me felt also this immense pressure because you're like, oh my gosh, this is like a big market, And so just all of that. And I was like screaming, crying just on the floor of my small walk-in closet. I don't want people to get this wrong idea that I have like these big closets where I can sit, with the benches like you see in the movie. No.
And a rug.
It's a walk-in closet. Like you walk in and that's it. There's nothing else.
Okay,
There's nowhere to go.
Okay.
So I was like plopped down, and I think maybe it's the need to like feel a sense of control that I will take everything out of my closet, put it on the ground, and start like organizing things, right? That is like just a weird habit of mine whenever I get upset. So I remember there were just piles of clothes on the ground, and I was like screaming, crying into the phone, and I was just so unhappy. I don't even think unhappy was the right word. Like, I don't even know what triggered it. Maybe there was something that day at work that triggered it. I don't remember. But I remember Owen saying to me, he's like, I think you should just leave your job. And I'm like, what kind of solution is that? You know, because you don't want to hear that. But that was kind of, I look back and think like, wow, that was such a not normal thing to happen.
Yeah.
And then it was a little while after that where I went to the doctor, and then they were like, hey, because like all of this stuff, like the anxiety and the depression, it doesn't always come out as like, ooh, like crying, I'm sad. Like it's, you know, like you're short-tempered. Like all of a sudden you get just like really angry, which was happening to me. And your body's just like, I think just, it doesn't know what to do. Yeah. And it just like doing all these unusual things.
It's like survival mode almost, right?
Yeah. And I wasn't myself. Like I wasn't myself. That isn't who I am.
Yeah.
But that was like the normal for me, where I would just like the smallest thing would set me off. And then, you know, once I was told like, hey, this is probably related to anxiety and depression, and then the medication, and then everything's fine. I mean, depression, I think, is still it's like an ongoing thing for me. And I think,
which is surprising on this end, because I don't,
right.
When you told me that you have depression, I'm like,
I know, right? Which is like,
I don't know if that's like a stupid thing. I shouldn't say stupid.
No,
but like,
I think that's fairly common from what I understand. Is I think I tend to, like Owen calls them my episodes. He sees them coming where I just like retreat. And he claims that they're on like 3-day cycles. So I will have like the absolute urge to just sit, like I don't want to do anything. I don't want to talk. I don't want to go anywhere. When it was bad, there were times where I just like couldn't get up out of bed, and I would have to call into work because this is not me just being lazy like in bed. It's like I am so tired.
It's like
so
paralyzing.
Exhausted. Yeah, I just like, I'm going to be in bed all day. And then there were times, yeah, so I mean, really, it's like even now I still get them, and like, bless his heart. Oh, I know I keep saying, I just, poor
the
guy.
spouses are the heroes.
I know, right? They need their own podcast.
Pilot has a lot to say.
And it's very similar to what Owen has
like
to say.
carbon copy.
Yeah.
Owen and Pilot, same thing.
They met, and it was like, oh, holy cow, you guys are the same people.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so
so you would just stay there in bed.
Yeah, I would just stay there in bed. And then like I still get that, of course. Like nothing is going to completely make that go away. As far as anxiety, like the palpitations and stuff, that's definitely less.
I was going to ask.
Yeah, that's like, I haven't had anything nearly as bad as when I was in Tucson in, I don't know how many years it's been since I left, like, you know, got that diagnosis in Atlanta. So it's been a lot better.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, I know. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, that's really scary. And then a moment that I had, because, yes, since the summer, I have had ups and downs. Like, I've had my
How
little
could you not?
bouts of depression. Right.
It's a whole life change. Your whole
major
identity is like
Mm-hmm.
shifted.
And I was giving myself grace because, you know, obviously that is going to happen. Like it's huge. But then one day, Owen looked at me and he said something I had never heard him say before, which says something. He said, "You look happy." And I haven't talked to him about this, so I don't think he knows how, I don't want to say odd. It wasn't odd by any means, but it was like how striking of a comment that was for me to be like, I don't think that has ever been said to me by my husband in all the years that I have known him.
So now you're going through the files.
Yeah, now I'm sitting here going like, in what situation? I mean, maybe in like, you know, like a silly situation. But I mean, this is like a very like, you
Like your energy's
yes,
happy.
like
it's
you
a
are
whole different.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And that goes back to like that wasn't me. I mean, I thought that was me, right? All the short fuse and the just, you know, ups and downs and emotion and just, I don't know. It was like the world was just like going and I was just like in my own head, right? Like all I can think about is like, oh, I need to get this done and that done. There's like no sense of me just like being calm that like doesn't. And I thought that's just who I was. But I don't think so.
Do you think that was triggered more because of the industry you chose and you think it brought out a lot?
I think so. Just because like I think we're just like always kind of, and that's my personality too. I know, right? Just like someone drops a pencil and you're just like, what? But I think that's also like my personality is very like, I can't sit still.
Yeah.
But I think it was the industry kind of exacerbated what was already within me. And then I felt like, you know, like you're manic. Like you're just like, I need to get this done and that done. And then, you know, like I do this and it makes me so angry that they did this. And, you know, just like little things that would set me off for no reason. And then now I'm like, I can like take a deep breath. I've been waking up feeling like I got a full night of sleep.
Oh, that is awesome,
Because you and I talk about this. On that
Oh.
morning show, you were just in a fog, right? And I didn't even know I was in the fog until I left the morning show.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would wake up every morning when I was still like working and I would be like, oh, I am so tired. Like, I don't know. Coffee isn't fixing this. Like, I don't know what, like energy drinks, nothing is working for me here. And then now I'm like sleeping so well and I wake up feeling so refreshed.
Because you're happy.
Yeah, because like I think I'm finally at ease. Yes, there are little things like, you know, I was talking to you before we started recording about like furniture shopping and things like that, which I understand such a big problem to have, like new furniture.
Given
but like
the situation, yes, it is.
Yeah, just like it's just moving and everything.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
like yes, of course, like baseline that is something that is stressful. But it's a different type of stressful. It's like a stress that I feel like, I don't know, maybe is a little more normal.
And manageable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, because I have stresses in a day too, and it's not anything like what I had gone through before.
Right.
Uh-huh.
It's just, I don't know. Like I was just living just like when you work the morning show and you are just in this fog and then you come out of it. It's like I've been in this kind of a weird, I don't know how and when it happened that I found myself in the middle of all this fog, but I was there. And then now it's like going away, slowly lifting. And then I'm like, hey, this is who I was.
Oh, I remember her.
Oh, I remember.
You look in the mirror like,
that hasn't happened
gosh,
since
I am real.
2013. Like, you know, you're just like, oh.
So next steps, because I know I'm looking at the time now. Can you believe it's been an hour?
Oh, see, I was going to say, this is just like our phone calls, which
I know.
normally go about this
I
length.
thought I like glanced over at the time.
Oh my gosh, I didn't
And
even notice.
well-
I haven't even looked here once. I've just been staring deep into your eyes.
Well, I am so captivating. I mean, look at these. But I happened to look over at the time.
Oh
and
my
I go,
gosh. Yeah, look
holy
at the time.
crap. Wow. I thought,
Would
I
you
mean, I
look
thought,
at
you
that?
know, we were just going to do maybe a half an hour. I don't know why I thought a half an hour or 45 minutes, and that was not going to.
Put two former reporters in a room.
Oh,
We could probably talk ourselves in circles.
we
sitting in
have
this
a
room.
lot more to. I mean, I feel like I could talk to you about a ton more things.
Yeah.
But then I'm going to have the producer out there knocking on the door and be like, wrap it. Oh, wrap it.
Rap.
Don't you hate that
Rap.
word? Like, I don't even want Pilot to say, can you wrap that gift? I'd rather him just say, can you decorate that gift?
Yeah, can you
decorate
it?
that gift?
Can
Yeah.
you neatly tape it?
Yeah, so the wrapping, so I mean, some people know, some people don't, but, and maybe I can ask you too, like, so the wrapping, when you wrap in your ear, it's like we have this earpiece, and we don't have them now, but.
We are earpiece free.
Earpiece free. Free the ears. The wrapping is like usually like 30 seconds, 15 or 5, right?
I don't think I ever got a 5.
Oh, no, I
would
got counted down 5 because I would.
Oh, that's true. 5 maybe it's different because you did weather, but
yeah, the studio.
So because generally I would go like, it would go like 15 and then I would hear rap and then I'm like, okay, let me just talk real fast and get everything in.
I was going to say, did you always listen to those cues? The raps?
I mean, it's hard because look, like a normal live shot, that's not, I wouldn't go long, but it's like, it's always when there's like something, either it's very fresh breaking news, or it's like something that's like super silly, and then you would just like
you just want to feed off of it.
And you're just going. Going and going and going, and then they're just like.
Would you ignore raps every now and again?
I'll be honest, I would go for like another 10, 15.
Okay.
Not quite 15 maybe.
Yeah, I'd sometimes go 30.
It would take me a little bit because also, like, especially if it's like an interview situation too, you don't want to like cut them off. So I'm waiting for like the right time, so you're like, thank you,
Oh.
Yeah. But
oh, gosh, I hate that.
I know.
You just want to let, like, producers, just let us breathe, please.
I know. But I know they have their own.
Yeah, I know.
Their rundown.
All love to the producers. I'm now a producer in a way of this.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
I get it. But okay, so before we say goodbye, I always like to end with like next steps and dreams and what have you. Over all the conversation that we had, either personally or were you're feeling about news or anything, like the next step, the next thought, anything.
Just to be happy. I think that's it. I think we all deserve that, right? You deserve that. I deserve that. Just, I mean, it sounds so simple, but it's very difficult, right? To look at your life and think like, wow, I am content. Because I think you and I also are like overachievers and perfectionists. Yeah. So I am constantly chasing like the next thing. And I think in this phase of my life, I would like to be content with where I'm at and know that like I am doing it. And there is no reason for me to think that I'm not doing enough or not doing it well, within reason, of course. Like I'm not, I don't want to be like just slacking and be like, oh, I'm doing my 100%. But, it's like just feeling, okay, that's good enough. Like that is good enough and I can be happy with it.
I like that. Oh, what a nice way to end it.
This is amazing.
Well, you are so special.
This
Get it?
Yeah. Can you do I've seen it like a U counter. You should do like on the corner. Be like, how many?
Oh, geez, now you got
tick. You could.
Now she's asking me
the
to
tally
do
marks on the bottom.
You want me to do a tally mark? Now
every
we have
time
to put
you
a graphic
say it,
on
you could
this
do
thing.
Ding, ding.
No, I'm not doing that. I love you, but I'm not doing that. That's
just adding to your work. I don't know. I don't know how to do that.
That's a text. That's text, and then it's an
animation.
You're asking for an audio effect and animation. So no, that's a hard no. You are not getting that.
I think we rounded it out at like 10.
Maybe 11. Okay. All right. We are done. Thank you. I'm sorry.
No, I didn't even notice that one.
I caught myself for stopping by. I can't. Yeah. Thanks for stopping by.
Well, thank you for having me. I know we've been talking about this for a long time. So.
I know. And this all started, I mean, this was always an open chair for you. But when somebody on my one podcast memo, you can, on the YouTube, they can write comments. Somebody asked about you. And I thought,
also, I know we just keep talking.
No one is rapping. There is no producer.
In my head, I'm like, I gotta rap.
And you start getting sweaty. You're like,
I know. I'm like, I gotta rap, but I gotta get this thought out.
They just told me rap out.
There was somebody else who DM'd. Actually, I think I got 2 DMs recently where they were saying like, one was, I think you should really go on Raegan's podcast. And the other said, have you thought about going on Raegan's podcast?
Shut up. Really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I feel so like touched.
People are listening.
Yay, keep listening, everyone. Listen.
Yes, please do. And I do use reviews on Wednesdays.
This is her. She did that.
This was me. I came up with it.
Not me. She did. Use reviews on all of my podcasts. So far,
every Wednesday.
We've gotten good reviews. I think you'll like the one next week. You'll like all of them. But then there's another one coming up.
I know you've like given me a little
sprinkle of.
I know it's gonna be good. But
all right. Well, again, I'm not gonna joke, but yes, thank you again for
having me.
just stopping by and just, you know what, being there for me and just being my sounding board. And
Same
you know,
goes for you.
you really just, when you find that person at a news station that you can really lean on, it is a lifesaver.
It really is. And look at us. It continues after. There is life after news, and it continues.
It continues after you sign off for the final time.
Oh, guys.
I know. What can I say? All right.
She's here all week.
All right. Well, we are done. Wave to the camera. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye, friends.
Oh, that was so good.
Take what lands, leave what doesn't, and keep moving forward. Follow wherever you're listening, and if you are watching on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. It helps more than you know.